Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Robinson with his new show, Teacher Time. So, I hope to share with you some of the things that I've done in my teaching career, and hopefully, it'll be a benefit for you. So, I'd like to start off with something I always think about when I'm teaching, and I try to keep this in mind that we're doing all this hard work for the benefit of our students and parents. And this little scripture from 1 Corinthians 13 and 13, chapter 13, verse 13, talks about the gifts, and the greatest gift of all is just love. And over my years of teaching and dealing with parents and students, you gotta love this job to do it. So, one thing I learned about students in my career, the students can pick it up very, very quickly if you love your job or if you hate it. It's like some type of instinct they have for teachers' motivation. So if you keep this in mind that you're doing this because you love what you're doing, you will be very successful. And I kid you not, the kids will do whatever you want them to do, and that's hopefully learn and pass their state exams, and they'll do it because they love your class. So I'm going to share with you a few things in my excuse me, in my little half hour, and I hope that you'll get something out of it. And you know, if I take a sip of water. So our agenda for today is orientation and rule number 1. So let's start off with looking at orientation. And I'm going to set my clock so I don't go over and hopefully give you a good time. So orientation, you got to introduce yourself to the kids because it's new kids that you're dealing with in the new school year, and even if it's your first time teaching or you're an old veteran, you have to introduce yourself. So I learned that you should be self-confident, knowledgeable, have a good sense of humor, and even if it's not good, fake it. So you're going to talk to the students like you would talk to your own kids, I would hope. And when they see that you're treating them the way your kids benefit from you, they're like, wow, this teacher really cares. So this formal introduction is great. Just make sure you put a little bit of spice in there to let them know where you're coming from. You want to be straightforward. I read books that say, don't smile for the first day. I agree with it. You shouldn't be smiling, but you should be firm and approachable. When I start teaching and I'm giving my introduction for orientation, getting to know you is what I tell them. I'm getting to know you and you're going to get to know me. So let me tell you a little bit about me and my background. So I tell them, yes, I am a doctor. I went to graduate school and got my doctorate degree some time ago. Was that 2012? So I've been doing this for a while. When you tell the kids that oh, you're not a brand new teacher. You have some confidence and you do it and you're doing it. And even if you uh, tell them, well, this is the first year, we're going to see what kind of ride we're going to go on, the students will like, I wonder if I can make this guy shake in his boots. So you need to do an introduction, letting them know that you're firm but fair. And in your introduction, you want to tell them a little bit of your personal stuff, like what baseball team you like, or who's your favorite basketball player. And then they'll realize, hey, this guy is not a robot. He does have likes and things that will make it an interesting class, because maybe he'll talk about some of the games or WWE wrestling, something that they like. So try to be personable. When I talk about myself, I tell them, I said, look, I was not a cheerleader. You see me in a shirt and tie, and it looks like I was a nice student from day one. And I can tell you, if you talk to my mother, she'll tell you differently. She said, wow, he was some child, very, very difficult, and he was bad. But it was not that I was so bad. I just needed attention, and I would do whatever it took to get attention. And I noticed if you get in trouble a lot and do things that will make your parents mad at you, you will definitely get their attention and get the attention that you're desiring. So I also let them know when I was growing up, I joined a gang and became the leader of a gang. Yes, I was a gang member. And I tell them that I was the leader of the 121 boys. And when I mentioned that to them, I said, that gang is still in existence. They're called Bloods now. But when I was growing up, it was called Crowns. And I would tell them that I was the leader and everybody had to follow my instructions. And if you didn't, we would have a problem. So, and they're like, wow, this guy was a gang member? How did he become a teacher? That's because I was the leader. You had to be smart in order to run a gang. So I ran with about 7, 8 guys in school, and we were bused to our middle school from our neighborhood, and we had to stick together because we weren't welcome in their neighborhood. And when you see my book that's coming out soon, you'll realize that, wow, Dr. Rob was no cheerleader. So I tell them a little bit about that, and they're now, I have their attention. So they now know my background, and I'm happy to get that out because you garnish a little bit of respect from the kids from day one. And you let them know that, hey, I'm no pushover. So that's my introduction. And I guarantee you, when you're telling kids about your personal life, somebody will be interested, and they'll want to talk to you privately or maybe ask you a question during class. And if it's proper, you can answer it. If not, you tell them you can get that information after school, or you can look it up if you're interested in my background. Take a look at some of the things that I wrote, and hopefully you'll see where I'm coming from. So let's talk about a couple things that I do. I try to let the students know that I have a sense of humor. I'm not an icicle. And sometimes a little joke will break up the things that we're doing and get the room into an atmosphere that you want to start your class with. Now, it doesn't have to be a great joke. It could be a joke that is something pertaining to your class. I'm a mathematics teacher, so I get math jokes, and you can Google up jokes from the internet and try them. You'll see that maybe the kids will bring in their jokes, and if they're proper and appropriate language, you'll allow them to tell it, because you never know what they may become when they get older. Maybe somebody will end up on MTV or something like that, or you just never know. So here's my joke, my little math joke. Why is 6 afraid of 7? So I give my students a couple seconds and let them know. Raise your hand if you're gonna respond, not just call out. So when they raise their hand, I say, what do you say? And you hopefully will get the answer. And if you don't get the answer, no problem, because some of the jokes are kind of hard to get. So give them the answer. Because 7, 8, 9. And then they're wondering, what do you mean 7, 8, 9? And then you see the number 8 there, and 8, 8. And you laugh a little bit, and you got the class now where you want it. And it's a little bit of an icebreaker. So you don't have that tension in the room already. So, there's my joke. Sorry. So, that's my orientation. I have a packet that I distribute of rules and regulations, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have that many rules, because I would look for, when I was young, I would look for whatever rule that the teacher did not cover, because they have a long list of rules, and I would look for that one rule that was not covered, and I would look to break it. And when the teacher would say, hey, you shouldn't do that, Robinson. And I said, well, that wasn't in your rules. You left that one out. And they were like, oh, man, Robinson was right. Yeah, I specialized in causing trouble. And that's my little timer letting me know that where I'm at and how much time I got left. I like using my timers so I can know. I usually use it just twice, halfway through my lesson, and at the end of my lesson it goes off again, letting me know I should wind up. I leave a couple minutes before the class is over, just to wrap up. So, as I said, I have very few rules, and I will continue by getting into rule number 1. It's very short and very direct. Don't talk while I am talking. Not Dr. Robinson. That's not proper English. Don't talk while I'm speaking. And I'm like, yes, I know. But I like to say while I'm talking, because it's, yes, broken English, but the kids can understand what you're saying. I've had teachers who spoke so properly, it was always over my head. So since it was so far over my head, dealing with what they were trying to say to me, I didn't understand. I'm a little guy. And the teacher's speaking these big vocabulary words, and I'm like, what is he saying? I don't know. What does he mean? So I make it short and simple. Don't talk while I'm talking. Now, why is that my rule number 1? And I think it's one of the most important rule that I have And that's because of respect. When I was in a gang, my gang, 121 Boys, I told them not to talk while I'm talking because it shows a lack of respect. Because if I'm saying something, then you know it's important. And just like a teacher, if you're saying something to your students, you want them to be listening to you. They can't be talking at the same time as you. So you need to make sure that they're not talking and being respectful. Because day one, you have to establish yourself. If somebody's going to be big and bad and try to break the rule, then you have to deal with it. Don't let them talk over you. It's very important that you maintain the respect you're given because, hey, whose class is this? You're the teacher. And if they feel as though they can disrespect you on day one, then they'll be doing it to day 180 something. You will never, ever have control of your class. And as a former administrator, we look for that class control. Can you manage your class very well? Classroom management is very important. And if you have kids who are talking while you're talking, the supervisor will look like, what kind of class is this? And you'll definitely have an interesting observational conference, post-conference. So make sure you adhere to that rule. It goes from the first day of class all the way to the last day of class. If you establish that rule, you'll have an easier time as you go on. Down there at the bottom left corner, it says Math Prep 19. I made a tutorial video, or really a good movie, about prepping for math. We prepare for our state math test, and the way we do it, we make a movie of the mathematics, and we make a nice storyline. Myself and a bunch of my students, we meet together at lunch or after school or before school, and we write a script. And the kids have their lines to say, and we practice bringing camera equipment and everything. And the kids really have a great time at it. We have a party after it's over to celebrate our math movie, and we post it on YouTube, and people view it. So it's a way of reviewing the math and having fun and celebration for our state test, and it's a good story that the kids can write up. And you'd be surprised how long how the kids respond to something like that, because it's different. You're not sitting up there or standing up there boring the students to death. You are giving them what they need through a video. And if you haven't seen my math prep videos, please take a look. Dan Robinson, I'll give you that information at the end. But Math Prep 19, YouTube is a very good instrument we use to get our message across. And take a look at the video. I think you will love it. It's a good video. I never make boring videos. Well, I'll try to make this video interesting, because I don't like really to just do all the talking. I like the students to do the talking. And but Math Prep 19, very good video. 19 is the year we made it, 2019. And if you're saying, wait a minute, Dr. Rob, you do this is the 19th video? Yes, we create a math video every year. And I tell my classes, I say, congratulations. I have a form that goes over things and permission slips of appearing in the movie. And we have a great time towards the end of the year, and right before the state test, it gets released, and we make one every year with my different classes, and they really have a good time, and I have a great time with them, and it's different. And when you have an administrator uh, who sees something like this, they're like, whoa, this teacher is really, really distinguished. It separates you from the regular teachers who just do chalk and talk. So I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've had administrators invite teachers to my room, and I'm like, what's going on? And they said, no, we just want to observe. And I'm like, okay, so they just want to see what we're doing. I let my students teach my class, and I'll give you that secret a little later in the video series. But the math prep movies are a great tool for kids to work together in an easy environment. You'll see we even have bloopers on there, and it's a really good movie. So if you haven't seen it, take a look at it. It's a very good movie. So again, rule number 1, don't talk while I am talking. So rule number 1, we have done. So rule number 2. And rule number 2 is my last rule. Rule number 2, don't be late. I dislike lateness. It is something you have to explain to the kids, because they could be, usually they're down in the hall talking to their friends or around the corner so you can't see them, and they're fooling around in the hallway or running after somebody in the hallway, and next thing you know, they arrive late after the late bell. And but let me preface this before, because in my rules, when I go over it in class, I let them know why is it important not to be late to class. And I ask the kids, and I throw it out there, and raise your hand if you know the answer. And some say, well, you miss stuff that the teacher says because you're late. And that's my other clock letting me know that I'm running out of time. So don't be late is important for another reason. I tell them, I say, one day you're going to be working and you're not going to be in school all your life. So when you start working and someone is depending upon you to be there to say, like, open up the store or start cooking the French fries and the breakfast meals, the pancakes at McDonald's. So, and a shout out to McDonald's, I love their pancakes. But if you're late, what are the customers going to think? They're going to say, hey, I can't go to McDonald's because they're always late opening. And the boss will be there on time, but he needs each of you students to be on time. And if you're late, they're going to say, hey, I have to find somebody else who's going to be on time and not be late. So you get fired from your job, and if you go way down your age and you're working and you have a family to feed and you lose your job because of lateness, then what's going to happen to your family because you're late? So don't be late. I hate it. If you don't have a late pass, I stop in the middle of what I'm teaching and put the kid on spot or blast, as some would say. I address it right then and there, soon, because I tell them, I say the late bell is for late people. You should be in your seat, ready to work. That's what being on time is before the late bell. And when students hear that you enforce the lateness rule, they adhere to it. Because if you don't enforce that lateness rule, you'll have the whole class walking in after the bell rings. And if you're being observed by an administrator and they look at you that you're letting all these people come in your classroom without a late pass and they're late, then your administrator will write you up about that and let you know that that's not proper classroom management. You have to enforce the rules. You can't allow the kids to be late. And if you enforce that rule and make a big deal of it, the kids won't be late. When I teach you about my cooperative learning program, you'll find out how I deal with lateness, and it's very effective. So that's my second rule. And guess what? That's my last rule. I don't go over a lot of rules. When we go into my strategy of dealing with these things and how I penalize kids for breaking the rules, you will definitely say, wow, this guy does something that I could definitely use. So check out my Math Prep 19 video, see how it goes, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So we covered my rules. Rules number 1 and 2, don't talk while I'm talking, and don't be late. You gotta enforce those rules every single day. And if you enforce them and the kids can see that you're serious about it and you respect those rules, the kids will respect you and they will live up to your expectation. But you cannot be shy and afraid of any kid that comes in late. I've had kids who were much bigger and taller than I am. That still did not stop me because I had my secret weapon to deal with that. And if you're wondering what my secret weapon was, it's the telephone. So I would get out my iPhone, shout out to Apple, and call houses after school, on weekends, to let them know I'm serious. I'd speak to parents, and those parents who spoke Spanish, I get out my Google Translate and translate what I'm trying to say to them, and I would definitely use that strategy, and I got some other strategies I'll be sharing with you on how to deal with your 2 rules. And that was it. Those are my 2 rules, and I got down to work first day of class. I taught them something simple that they can use in the math class, and they really, really responded well. And if you adhere to these rules, you can teach without a problem. So that's the start of my year. That's how I start. And if you want to see some more stuff, I'll be writing some more tutorial videos like this. You can check me out on YouTube. My channel name is Dan Robinson. So you can see some of the stuff. Let me move that out of the way. That I have. Subscribe to my channel. And let me just put this back on. So watch us on YouTube. My channel name is Dan Robinson. Subscribe to our channel. You can see some other stuff that I do, and we've done some interesting things throughout the year, throughout my years. And I'm now trying to do Twitter. So, well, I've kind of been doing it, but you can tweet me at or X me at drobmath1. And if you do write me on YouTube, I do write back. So subscribe to my channel, Dan Robinson, and check out some of our movies. Coming soon, my book, Young Dr. Rob. I have a math show on Tuesdays as well. So you can watch Math Time Tuesdays from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Channel 15, only on cable in Peekskill. Study with Dr. Rob. If you would like some of my strategies and more on the stuff we've been talking about, write me, robinsonmath@aol.com. So I hope you enjoyed our show, Teacher Time, show number 1. Tune in again next week, Tuesday at 6 p.m. and that's on Channel 15. Thank you for watching. I hope you do subscribe, and Teacher Time, and teachers are running fast, always trying to beat the clock to do a lot for their students and parents and administrators. So this is Dr. Rob saying so long. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.